Good day, Mr. Verhagen. Welcome to our debate. We're gonna talk about two theses. One is gonna be about nuclear power plants, and the second one is gonna be about abortion. Hidde is gonna introduce the first thesis. Hidde, take it away.
Yes, our first thesis is nuclear power is the best solution to our current climate problem. In the time that we live in today, climate change is one of the leading topics worldwide. Every country tries to deal with it in their own creative way, and much money is yearly invested in the battle against climate change. Many scientists are coming up with different solutions and ideas. However, do we have to invest so much money in developing ideas if we already have a pretty solid solution on our hands? Nuclear power. As I said earlier, nuclear power is the best solution to our current climate crisis. The main reason for that is the nuclear power plant has almost zero carbon dioxide emissions. Our world data shows that generating nuclear power as compared to producing gas a negative 97 reduction rate. This means that the effect of generating nuclear power does not influence the current climate change. That is why this is such a valuable solution to our problem.
Though there are indeed no emissions due to nuclear power. However, this isn't a reason to overlook the fact that this is one of the most expensive options we have. Why should we invest in nearly 19 billion euros for one nuclear power plant if there are much cheaper options? And these more affordable options like wind turbines and solar panels are a legit way for producing energy without emission. We in the Netherlands have already built hundreds of thousands of these wind turbines. Why should we stop suddenly with this great way of reducing the increase of the climate?
You have a fair point on the expensiveness of nuclear power plants. They are very expensive, but you need to consider that you need many wind turbines to generate the same amount of energy as one power plant. When you have a country like the Netherlands, for example, you need 18,000 wind turbines to generate enough power for the whole country, and you only need 10 power plants. So the wind turbines, they break down, they just break after 30 to 40 years. So you have to make 18,000 new wind turbines. This also costs money, they have to be made, it costs resources. That's just not good for the environment, which is the opposite of what you want to reach when you invest a lot of money in these wind turbines.
Yes, but you're all overlooking one fact, and that is that generating nuclear power is dangerous for the environmental space, which lies close to these power plants. We can look, for example, at Fukushima and Chernobyl. Two horrible and horrifying accidents. Experts who examined the scene speculated towards 100,000 deaths, and land as big as Belgium that isn't habitable to any animals anymore. I would rather have 18,000 wind turbines that are safe than one nuclear power plant contributing to disastrous environmental accidents. These are drastically becoming more people. There are drastically becoming more people on the planet, which means less space for the individual. We can't lose this precious space of nature by making it inhabitable due to radiation. We must be careful with our planet. That is why we can't afford to use these disastrous ways to produce energy, like, for example, the nuclear power plant.
Yes.
That cost over 19 billion euros.
Yeah. Fukushima and Chernobyl are indeed examples of something we want to prevent in the future at all costs.
Yes, of course.
But when you look at the things that caused these disasters and the consequences the disasters had, you might look different at it. The Chernobyl disaster resulted from human mistakes. They did not take care of the power plant in the way it needed, which led to the infamous outcome of the explosion. Both power plants were very old. The power plants that would be built today are much safer, and the chances of a disaster have dropped to almost zero. I also heard you say that you would rather have 18,000 of these ugly wind turbines.
Yes. Then one of yes.
But where would you place these things? We don't have an unlimited amount of space, especially in the Netherlands. We are a small country and we can't just place them everywhere. You can't put them in nature reserves because of the harm to animals, especially to birds. But you also can't place them near cities or villages because of the nuisance they give to the people that live near to them. So what do you think about that?
Well, there's one place that provides the ideal circumstances for wind turbine, which is on sea. The ECN, the Economic Bureau of the Netherlands, states that wind turbines are 20% more efficient on the sea than on land. We don't see these wind turbines when they're on sea. Also, we don't have noise complaints anymore because they are too far away to hear them.
Yes, that would be the best solution for when you search a place to put them, but still in the sea they would have consequences for nature. Still the birds would fly into them. The big wings of the turbines, they cause a lot of damage to birds. The fish, they go deaf by the sound of the turbines because they are not quiet, they make quite a lot of noise. And they die because of that, because of the fish. They live out of sounds, and when they go deaf, they just can't survive anymore. So I still firmly believe that a nuclear power plant would, just for the course of the nature and for the humans, provide a good solution to this climate change.
Yes, alright, but now question. Would you rather have 18,000 safe wind turbines or one nuclear power plant that is dangerous to the environment?
Well, you would need 10 power plants to match the same energy, but I would still say those 10 power plants, 18,000 power plants in the Netherlands, I think it's too many, I think it won't fit. And I think in a country, especially like the Netherlands, maybe in Russia, so you have enough space to put them in.
For these wind turbines?
Yes, to place them, but in the Netherlands we just don't have a lot of space. And people don't want to live near them, their house prices will drop, they won't enjoy living near them because of the noise and the nuisance that they make. So I think power plants on a place where they don't harm animals or people would be the best solution.
Alright, then maybe we should agree to disagree. This is going to be our second thesis. Our second thesis is going to be about abortion. I am in favor of the statement, Hidde is against. Hidde, let's bring it off. Abortion should be illegal. Abortion has always been a topic of separation. People tend to be in favor or against abortion. With a link to this controversy, we tend to look closer into this topic. Should killing an innocent baby be the solution to the problem we as people individually make? Prevention is better than to cure. The birth of a child shouldn't be seen as an option. You're either pregnant or you're not. Abortus allows deciding whether the mother wants the child or not. But this question should be asked a long time before the woman is pregnant. People should be more careful with birthing a child. There are enough tools for men and women to prevent getting a child. If these tools aren't used, then the woman should be responsible for the birth, and the child should be interruptedly reborn. And that is the thing that irritates me. People are not careful with the way how they have sex, and as a result of that, kill an innocent little baby.
Yes. But you have to take in consideration that a lot of the cases of the women that do abortion, they didn't have voluntarily the normal way of sex. They have either been raped or forced into a child, or they are ashamed because they have a child. So that it's not just because they don't want a baby, but they are a victim of a crime like rape or something. How do you...
Yeah. I am aware that these cases happen sometimes, but this isn't the reason to remove an embryo. A child's life begins when the egg division starts. Thus abortus could be seen as murder on a child. However, the solution to unintended pregnancy could be to give the child up for adoption, for example. This way, no child is killed, and the mother is less bothered by an unwilling child. Sorry.
Yes. I see your point, but I don't think that when you forbid the abortion, that's what will happen. I think there will be a lot of illegal cases of abortion because the women still feel the desire to get rid of the child, but they can't do it in a certified clinic with professionals, with gear that has been tested, and where the safety can be acquired. When they do it illegal, there come a lot of risk by it because it isn't done by professionals. So a lot of the women can die because of the well, the illegal way of abortion. So you make it at a very big risk because the woman will still do it,
Yes.
but they don't have the good access to a safe place to do it.
Now, I understand that, that a few individuals will not obey the law, and they will illegally move the child from the uterus. But this isn't the reason to legalize abortus. This could be seen as an argument for everything. For example, heroin is illegalized, and still a few people take these drugs and die due to their usage. But is this a reason to legalize heroin so you could moderate their intake? No, I don't think so. It's the same with abortus. Abortus could be seen as murder when the mother illegally removes the child from the uterus. We cannot accept the fact that the misbehavior of a few get rewarded with legalized abortus. It is murder, and therefore should be treated as murder.
Yeah, I strongly disagree with the murder part because, in my opinion, when a child hasn't been born yet and is still in the abortion phase, it isn't human yet. It's just an embryo, and I don't think you can be charged with murder on something that hasn't been born or is not yet a normal human. I also don't think that you can compare drug use to, well, a topic like abortion, because there is a big difference in the reasons why people take drugs or why they do abortion.
Mm-hmm.
They can be forced by religion, culture. They just can't have a baby, and drugs, yeah, people get addicted to it, but the reasons why people do it, I think there's too much difference between them to compare those two.
Yes, but in a civilized environment like the Netherlands, these aren't everyday problems anymore. Our country has excellent healthcare and adoption system. No one will stand in the cold, and no one will be left behind. That is why we should illegalize abortus. We as a nation can facilitate and help the mother with her child. If you, for example, are forced by religion or culture to remove the baby, you can simply go to the police. The justice system in the Netherlands is such a profound and reliable system that no one should be afraid to be mistreated. We in the Netherlands give women an equal place compared to men. But abortion is not a right, it's a crime. You simply kill a breathing and living child. Also, a recurring factor is that the feeling of regret by the mother after removing her child is in place. That is why abortion should be illegal, and we should focus on preventing unwanted pregnancy instead of curing it with wildly inappropriate abortus methods.
Yeah, I agree on the part that we should make efforts to prevent the unwilling child, to just make it less, so that those type of abortions, I can agree with that, might be illegal, that should be illegal maybe, but the other cases like rape or something, I just really don't think you should legalize them, because those people, they just can't help it, they are forced to have a child, so I just don't think we can agree on that part.
But I think your vision is in the curing part, and I'm thinking more in the prevention part.
Yeah,
so you can prevent it rather than to cure it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to prevent rape because it's already illegal.
Yes, but I think it is hard to prevent rape,
yeah.
But it can be helped to a certain degree.
Maybe.
But again, we should agree to disagree.
No.